Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiana with Dave and Sarah, and we are talking tonight about the new website. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. The plan is to have it up by the end of the week. And it may not be 100% complete, but it's enough to get started on. It's enough to inform you, and we will be completing it and promoting it as each section is done. Whatever it is not done by the time it's posted, it just continues to be worked on. We have a bunch of other sections we want to add to it. This site can go up to 1,000 pages, and it gives us plenty of opportunity to expand as we need it. So I want to turn it over to Dave before I get started. What we need to do, I want to say, is we need to use this site to keep people informed. We are in a very precarious situation in this country. We are already in the legal phase of fascism. The laws that are being passed on a state-by-state basis that oppress voting rights, that prevent transgender people from getting, medical treatment, that seek to roll back a woman's right to choose. All of this is being pushed by the far right people and Christian nationalists. And we have some candidates running who actually want to make this country ruled by the Bible. And, don't say that's never going to happen. Don't say it. Because in Boston here, when Ted Kennedy died, a seat that was held by the Democrats for 46 years, we all sat back and said, we're not going to worry about that. We've had it forever. And Scott Brown got elected. And it took Elizabeth Warren to knock him out. So we can't sit back on this and say, none of this shit's ever going to happen, because that is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany. The people who didn't buy into it believed that it would never happen there. It can happen here. So Dave, take it.
A couple of things. I want people to understand that, number one, what we allow will continue. We have gotten so far off track over time. Next week, I will be talking more about the Supreme Court and more about what some of the right-wing congressmen had been talking about in some of the court cases. They're talking about eliminating contraception. Some of them are talking about leaving the legality of interracial marriage to the states. They're talking about gay marriage. They're talking about abortion. So how far do you want this to go? I spoke with someone locally who I know who's involved in government, and I asked them, please, anything that you can direct me towards that I can do to prevent our local right-wing oath keeper involved gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin, QAnon guy, from becoming governor, please let me know. And they said, oh, well, don't worry about it. He's never going to get in. Never say never. Never say never. That's
especially.
That's what happened. That's what happened with Trump. That's how Trump got in. That's how a lot of these people got in. I cannot accept that anymore. And none of you should. Every single one of you. We will give you the information. There's a pipeline section, which Deb has and will show you, of all of these people coming in to each individual state. And they are looking to change the way government is being run. And by the way, this has been going on for a long time. Again, yesterday, I talked about Robert Bork, who was way far radical and far to the right. And he was appointed to, he was appointed in 1987 by Ronald Reagan.
Right.
And this is a guy who wanted to give the right of sterilization to female employers. So make no mistake, what you allow, right wing will take. We need to stop allowing this.
All right, so let me show you. Sarah, you get anything to add? By the way.
That we just need to be paying attention to the content on the website, and I've made a Telegram chat that it's specifically to push out content to expose the alt-right and to support, progressive ideologies, because these right-wingers, they don't want equality. They're saying, oh, we want freedom. They're not after freedom. They're after fascism.
Right. Right.
And, some of them are stupid enough to be, that the useful idiot. And then some of them are malicious.
Right.
And, none of them feel like they're doing the wrong thing. None of them feel like they're racist. None of them feel like they're white supremacists. Well, some of them do. Some of them take pride in it, but they're all happy commingling. And there's a reason why these right-wing convoys and these right-wing, religious stuff, they are attracting all these white supremacists, like, a beacon.
Right.
And they're so loud right now, and they're so organized, and they're so motivated, and we need to be motivated too, but for the right things.
Right.
And protecting the citizens, the LGBTQ and BLM and all these people who are fighting for actual justice,
Yep.
That's what this is all about.
It is. All right.
And
let me show you.
I've been doing a lot of research on white supremacists and, right-wing terrorist groups. And so all this content that I've been kind of just data collecting is going to go onto the website. So expect that.
Right.
In time.
All right. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to go through this a little bit because I know I've done this before on a video, but it's much more complete than it was then. This part basically hasn't changed. If you look at these images here, what you're seeing here, this isn't happening back in 1960. This is now. Okay. This shit's going on now. All right. And we have we had a president in the last term who empowered all of these people. These are white supremacists on the University of Virginia campus. Look at the fucking line.
Wait a minute. Can you scroll back to that last photo? Is that Brian Brace in the front left?
I don't know. Hold on. Right there?
Is that no?
I don't know.
No.
Could be. It could be. The unholy alliance, the anti-vaxxers teamed up with the far right. They get themselves together. The left needs to get itself together. As I said the other night, in Boston, they killed the gay pride parade last year because they couldn't decide if they wanted trans people in it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. There were arguments. There were arguments about it in the hierarchy of the planners. You know what? In 2014, I was at Gay Pride. They had Miss Trans marching down the middle of the street. Get over yourselves, okay? The LGBT community needs to remember where they came from. And it was straight people that helped them get their rights. It was their supporters that helped them. We need to band together and cut the shit because you know what? The right wing knows how to do all that.
Yes, they do.
So this is, an overview of what fascism is, where it started, how close are we to being there? We're pretty close. We hit the mark on several points. And as I've said, a lot of the legislation that's being passed right now is the legalization of fascism. Once it's a law, it's a law. This section is just going to be about us. It's about how we got to where we are right now from where we were as become ungovernable. We couldn't get people to get off the sofa. That was the first problem. The second problem was the only people who were getting off the sofa were the far right. And the only people who showed an interest in self-governance were the far right extremists. And that's where we get off the boat. We do not want this country run by far right extremists. So we're just going through the points here, the high points that made us realize what was going on.
I think all this is very relatable because, people that are watching this, they've seen all this in real time,
Right. And this is our mission. It's very simple right now. It may be more complex later on, but right now it's keeping the GOP out, because the current composition of the GOP party is not, we have some fringe people in it. It is the face of the party is now fringe, because
Yeah.
all the traditional conservatives are either leaving and getting out of government because they don't want to work with these far right people, or they're being voted out. The goal is to replace this particular GOP with a far right party. That's what Nicholas Fuentes has said. Okay. That's where they are going.
There are a
And let
few.
me tell you this. It is so much deeper than people realize. It is not just one man on a social media. This man is instructing young people. I don't know if it's minors, but it's young people, young adults, and he's shaping their minds, brainwashing them to hate Jewish people, to hate Black people, to hate gay people. And these young minds, I think why they're so impressionable is because they're so young and they don't, they can't process what is right and what is wrong yet. And they're being lured into this right-wing community. It's very scary.
It is. And that's why, actually, that is why these people stream on gaming sites.
Yes.
Right.
They stream on gaming
Now
sites.
they have their own.
They're on Twitch. My kid's on Twitch. They're on there. And I know they're on there because they get to stream and nobody shuts them down, but that's not all they're doing on there.
Right. I do want to mention that there are a few politicians who were considered mainstream Republicans who have been shifted to the right. Elise Stefanik is one of them. One thing that I have noticed over time, if you remember the progressive movement or Bernie Sanders, you saw a lot of Democratic people start talking in a left-wing kind of way. Now you have a lot, like pretty much the entire Republican Party talking with Trump talking points.
Right.
And the people who aren't are getting pushed out.
Right. We didn't we're not punishing people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and all these people who are speaking at white supremacist meetings, but we're punishing people like Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney for doing the right thing. They're being punished for that. They're being removed. They're not being recognized by the Republican Party anymore. They're on the outside looking in simply because they're doing their job. Because in the minds of the GOP, they were supposed to just turn a blind eye and not participate in investigating J6. And there was just a ruling today, by the way, that will prevent Mark Meadows from hiding his last batch of emails, because the judge said, if this is not investigated and stopped, it will happen again. So people need to get a fucking clue.
One thing that I want to mention too before we go is that we are supposedly a country of rules, and there is a double standard here. That's how Trump got 3 justices in, where they were pushed that, hey, it's too close to the election. We're not going to let Merrick Garland in, but now we're going to let Amy Coney Barrett in. That's one. Now we have 2 candidates yelling about being taken off the Commission for Physical Fitness because they violated the hatch. That's Dr. Oz, and we have Herschel Walker. And we have people, rightly so, pushing to keep some of these extreme candidates off the ballot, like Madison Cawthorn and Marjorie Taylor Greene, because they were involved in seditious acts.
Right.
Which, by the way, those rules are on the books.
Well, that's a 14th Amendment.
14th
Okay.
Amendment.
All right, we're getting into the danger zone now. So we're talking about, there are fewer hate groups, but that's because hate is in the mainstream now. We have people that just talk about it all the time. Wendy Rogers, Paul Gosar, New research that just came out shows that 30% of Republicans believe that violence is okay to make change, and 39% of the people who believe the election was stolen think that violence is okay to reinstall Trump.
Can I just say, you mentioned Paul Gosar. Do you remember that video he published on
Yep.
Twitter?
Yep.
About hurting, another AOC, hurting other congressmen?
Yep.
That exact video I found in a white supremacist chat.
Yeah.
They were sharing it. And not only that, but I can say that based on looking at the propaganda they push out, it looks like something that a Groyper made.
Right.
Right.
And so that means that this Groyper is giving content to Paul Gosar it's absurd.
Right. Right.
And every time one of these people say something patently bigoted or stupid or untrue or all three, such as Marjorie Taylor Greene telling Mayor Pete Buttigieg and his husband to stay out of women's restrooms. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Look at this is a woman here who confused Gestapo with gazpacho. Now she's clearly confusing two gay men with transgender people. But by the way, okay, whether they were transgender or not, that wasn't okay to say. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that, she may be as dumb as a stump, but that doesn't mean that stupid isn't dangerous. She's dangerous.
She's calling for a regime change.
Yeah, she's an idiot. So this is the danger zone. These are going to be sub-pages. They're not ready yet. I'm going to be working on them tonight. It's going to be COVID-19 misinformation campaign, the attempted kidnapping in Michigan. I don't think anybody's even talking about this. Right now, there are 13 people on trial for attempting to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. They were serious about it. And no matter what you read, the FBI did not participate in that. The FBI did what it does when it goes undercover. But basically, the people who are on trial are saying that nobody twisted their arm, okay? We have the violence in Kenosha that spawned the, lionization of Kyle Rittenhouse, the Unite the Right rally, the big lie, which Donald Trump actually started in 2016. It's not new, okay? In 2016, he accused the Democrats of hiding 7 million votes, and that's how he lost the popular vote, even though he won the election. He's been talking about this bullshit for years. And then the January 6th insurrection. Then we get into some ideologies. Okay? There's a lot of dangerous ideologies, and violence is usually part of that. We talk a little bit about how violence permeates the big lie. And then we talk about the people and their commentary and how they foster violence among their followers. So we have, Ammon Bundy, who, by the way, was involved in the Bundy standoff, is running for the governor of Idaho. Michael Flynn, Rick Scott, who is off the chain now. I mean, in 2016, I thought he was just an asshole. Now he's a dangerous asshole. And Donald Trump, he cannot be left off the equation. There will be more here. There's going to be, at least 3, possibly 6. And some of the other people will be featured in the sub pages of this thing, where we talk about not allowing CRT to be taught, the marginalization of women, oppressing undesirables, dismantling public health, voter suppression, and dismantling public education. These are all the shit. This is all the shit that's on their agenda. Then we have the players. These are the people who voted to overturn a legitimate election. All 147 of them right here.
Traitors.
Yep. These are some of the House and Senate members who have been the most virulent in spreading the big lie. Jim Jordan, Mo Brooks, Madison Cawthorn, Matt Gates, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley. And there's more, there's people down here. Elise Stefanik, Scott Perry, Steve Scalise, Ronnie Jackson. These people will all be added to this.
Yeah, I think Tom Cotton should be added too.
We're going to talk about, we haven't even done this part yet. We just did the Donald Trump people here. Okay. So, we're going to, this is the Donald Trump page. His page is actually done. This is him and his inner circle. This is, these are the 6 major things I think that, set him apart from other presidents,
Right.
actions he took as soon as he got into office. Insulting the people of Puerto Rico in the middle of a fucking hurricane. He's just got no, he doesn't care about the people. He cares about power. That's what he cares about. He wants to be a dictator.
Right.
We have
That's
Trump's
exactly
inner circle.
what Nick Fuentes and Wendy Rogers, that's what they want.
Right. And this is Trump's inner circle down here. Steve Bannon, Ivanka Trump. He had no problem elevating people from his family to positions that they are totally unqualified for. His whole family was basically part of his, wagon train. Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, Roger Stone, Mark Meadows, Michael Flynn, John Eastman. And then, we'll have state and local politicians, which I haven't done yet, activist groups, corporations, the media, and generally other benefactors. These are people who, fund him, but they don't fall into these other categories. We have the pipeline now, where we have in the 2022 election, which is largely where we're focused right now, we have people running who are, for lack of a better word, off the chain. Tina Peters, she's been indicted for her role in the 2020 election. She copied the hard drives of the voting machines and gave them to Mike Lindell to show at his stupid, whatever the heck it was that he had, where he was going to prove that the election was stolen from Trump. She is indicted and she is running for Secretary of State in Colorado.
Right.
Okay.
And Secretary of State,
she's indicted on 10 counts, 7 of which are felonies.
Yep.
And she's running for the one office in this nation that regulates the entire election process.
Yeah.
Think about that, people, okay?
Exactly.
And, the Colorado GOP has requested that she drop her run. Well, that's like asking Hitler to stop, persecuting people. She's not going to stop. She already said she isn't. There are no laws here that stop this shit. We have Herschel Walker, who really can't even stay on topic most of the time he speaks, but because he's a football player, he's leading in the polls. Heidi St. John. This is the scariest woman, I think, on the planet. This is a woman who really wants the Bible to be the governing guidebook for the country. And, she's running for the Congress, folks. Okay. She's running for the U.S. Congress. She really said here, this nation is a Christian nation. Well, she's saying that, but the founding fathers sure didn't say that. And don't kid yourself. Christian nationalists are behind all of this. They have been behind all of this forever. Okay. Mark Fincham, running for Secretary of State in Arizona, another big lie proponent. Okay. He is right now serving in the Arizona House of Representatives. He's a state rep. He's not a federal rep. You know what? This should show everybody how important this is to these people. Instead of running for a higher office, he's going for Secretary of State so he can have control of the elections in Arizona. Okay, understand this. They're dedicated to their cause. Janice McGeachin, she is a winner. I got to tell you, I don't even know how to describe this woman. You know, this is a woman who literally is the lieutenant governor. And I don't even like Brad Little, who is the governor of Idaho. I
Right.
thought he was bad until I saw her. Do you know that while he was away at a governor's conference, she literally overturned his mask mandate while he was gone? Okay. She, you know, she does this all the time. She posed outside her office with two members of the 3 percenters. When she ran in 2018, she used them for private security detail. And again, while Brad Little was out of town, she deputized them and put them in the National Guard. These people are fucking crazy. And by the way, there's a lot of right-wing women here. This is not the way the glass ceiling should be broken, with crazy people.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is how it works.
Greg Gavin in here.
Yeah.
I put Greg in here because, you know, he's already in office, but he's running for re-election. And he may be running for president. Right now, he's taking a we'll see what happens attitude. Okay. But he's running for re-election as governor of Texas. He's like a one-man demolition derby and taking people's rights away.
I could see him getting a cabinet position.
Yep.
I could. So.
Yep. So there will be, again, I'm not done here. We got a lot of things to add here. I actually have subpages I'm going to put in here. Then we get into the glossary, because there's a lot of terms that get thrown around every day, not just here, but on social media. You know, it's just a way for people, a place for people to go. This will be updated as things change, as new terms come up. You know, for example, you know, incel is a new term for most people. Of course, my kid said to me, "You're just talking about incels now," you know, but
I mean, they've been talking about incels for probably a few decades now.
yeah, well,
And, you know, it started out as a genuine, like movement for women,
right,
for incel women that, you know, were deemed unworthy in society or whatever, maybe disabled or,
right,
you know, had appearances that weren't appealing. And so she made this movement to help those women. And
Right.
then men kind of overtook it in like the 80s and the 90s.
Yep.
And, you know, and it became something else.
Right. We go through it all here. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, it'll be again, it's all of this is going to be subject to change all the time.
The thing that really confuses me, and I'd love for him, well, to explain it. Nick Fuentes calls himself a voluntary incel. Incel is a term which means involuntarily celibate. So how can you be involuntarily celibate?
Well, because
I
he says,
think what he meant was that he is sacrificing himself.
Right.
he's
to
making
have
himself
the idea
unattractive
for the
for his
greater
cause.
good.
You know, as I've said,
I don't think he needs to worry too much about that.
well, when you know, as I said in the video, when you basically come fucking flat out and say that women shouldn't have the right to vote, it's going to be really tough to get a fucking date. Okay.
Right. While you're picking
I
your
know.
nose and eating your boogers.
He goes and eat it on camera, which is another thing he's been caught doing. But, you know, that's kind of a turnoff, just so you know, Nick.
Honestly, I don't think he's too worried about women, to be honest.
Wouldn't be just great if he was gay, wouldn't it? Just would. Oh, sorry.
If you think about it, the way alt-right Christian communities work, they're very oppressive when it comes to gender and identity, and you know, homophobia is rampant.
Yep.
And so you think about his ideology, he very well could be a gay man, because he's been oppressed to think gay is bad.
Right.
And then, you know, what would be the next best thing?
Right.
He
Right.
sacrificed himself,
Right.
made him into a martyr.
Well, you think of Hitler, and you know the Aryan nation, and what the perfect man was supposed to look like. It's blonde, blue eyes. That wasn't Hitler.
Right.
So, you know, he's the leader of the movement, and he's got black hair with that little friggin' comb mustache.
Well,
as
for
like,
Nick Fuentes, his issue is that he's just a horrible person. I don't think it's necessarily a physical or mental ailment. I mean, he obviously may have some mental issues that are pushing him to do this. I don't know, but that's speculation. But
right.
Right.
I will go right on
but
camera.
say incel, it's not
Right.
necessarily a bad term. It's the
Yeah.
fact that a lot of incels have violent thoughts towards society, especially men and women, and how they're treated in society, and they're feeling like they've been oppressed in a way. They
Yes.
feel like they're not, valued as much as other people. So they have a lot of resentment. So that's why the incel community is so wrapped into the white supremacy community, because they have a large tendency to become very violent. And
Self pity.
Yeah.
That is
So-
basically what you're.
As my mother would say, misery loves company.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I will go right on camera with an exclusive. Assholism.
They're
He
fighting
has
the
assholism.
community now. These right-wing people, these people who are bitter and they're incels, and they've gone so far right into religious fascists that they, no one wants to be around them. Well, no one wants to,
Right.
so they feel like, they're not a part of this country. They feel like they're their own sovereign entity.
They have
they
to-
don't care if anybody else dies. They don't care.
Right.
So here we are. We have our vision here. This actually started when we were talking about direct democracy, but we have changed these quite a bit because we want to avoid direct democracy right now.
Right.
This is our vision. These are, the 30 rights that are based on the original rights that were written with the UN back in the 40s. That we have adapted and updated. They're all here for you to read. Once we post it, you'll be able to see them. The bottom line here is, everybody that lives here, regardless of who they are, or, what color they are, what their religion is, whether they don't believe, everybody who lives here, works here, and contributes to society, we all get the same rights without exception, without any exception. Okay. One of the things is that, I'm not interested in eliminating the right wing. If they really want to live that way, let them live that way.
Right.
What I don't want is to be told I have to live that way. Okay.
Right.
So I'm willing to we'll live and let live. But the problem is they're not willing to live and let live. And we've seen it time and again. All right.
This website though is going to highlight that in detail.
Yeah.
Know that this is a living document. We
Yeah.
have discussions all the time. Hey, should we add this? Should we take this out? I just mentioned about putting an accountability piece in there because you see it right now. There are a lot of this has to do with some of the constitutional pieces too. In the hearing for Ketanji Brown Jackson, she patently told Lindsey Graham, listen, what you're asking me to do is adhere to a faith test, and that is unconstitutional. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. But on a scale of 1 to 10, rank your faith. It's like,
Get the fuck out of here, really. And by the way, Rick Scott in his 11-point plan to save America,
right,
required that children stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. That's against the Constitution. It's unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional to require prayer in school. You know what? The bottom line is none of that changes anything. Just because you pray at school doesn't mean you're not going to have school shootings. Spare me, okay? This shit is all unconstitutional. These people want to change the very document that they claim to revere, okay? And this is what you need to get. The last part is just simple. It's contact us. Join our mail list, okay? You do not have to wait for this website to be done to do that. Let me see if I can Let me just see if I can pull it up real quick over here. So hang on a second.
Well, I have something to say. Part of what we have been looking to do all along is to find like-minded people and find like-minded people in the same areas so that we can get together and actually get things done locally or statewide.
Right.
Right now, I have Lee Zeldin. Deb and Sarah have Jeff Deal running for governor in their state. We need to get together and push people to vote these people out or keep these people from getting governorships and calling them out and pushing them out of any type of power.
Right. All right.
So that's part of what we're doing.
Right now, this page is up where the website will be. This is called, it says coming soon. Okay.
Yep.
This will be where the website goes. But right now, you can join the mail list right now. You can just go right here.
And
send us
it's
an
free.
email,
That's
and-
so cool.
and you'll join we'll put you on the mail list. And we're going to be much more active than we have been in the past. We're going to do email blasts. We're going to do all kinds of stuff to keep you updated. But, knowledge is power. And the thing is, when you're on social media, you see this in little pieces, right? You see all of this stuff going by your screen, and you might not put it all together. The website, what we're hoping to do is show you the big picture about what's going on here in this country. Okay. And, we need to deal with this. This is not going to go away. As you have seen, Donald Trump lost the election. He is very much in control of the Republican Party, and the Republican Party is doing his bidding. They have actually gotten worse since he left. He cannot be allowed to be president of the United States again, okay, under any circumstance.
Right.
So,
One last thing, Deb, I wanted to ask. I know that we wanted to mention this. We typically don't, we're not looking to build our brand, and we typically don't ask for funds or any of that. But if you're willing to do that, we're more than happy to take it, because a lot of this stuff costs money. To get on Vimeo, they cost money. To do more intricate Zooms and stuff like that, it costs money. Deb does mailings all the time. That it costs money to do. So if you're willing.
So just so you know, Dave and I split Zoom. It's about $300 a year.
Right.
Vimeo. It's about
Vimeo.
$300 a year. We have Vimeo because we need a backup for YouTube, which can
Yep.
take us down at any time. Okay. This website, I pay we have another website too. I've already paid for it this year. So, it automatically hit my PayPal account. So, I'm not going to take it down. I might use the website for something else. I haven't decided yet.
Right.
It might be my radio station. I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm doing with it.
Right.
But between the two websites, that's $500 a year out of my pocket. And believe me,
Yeah.
I'm 68 years old. I'm working because I have to work. I'm not working because I love working in retail. Okay. And we don't ask for money. I'm not interested in going out on GoFundMe or Give, Send, Go. I'm going to put a little PayPal thing on the website, just like I
Right.
have a little PayPal thing on the radio station blog. If you want to throw us $5, you can do that.
Yep.
But we're not out there. We are not going to monetize and make people pay for prime content like
Right.
Candace Owens does and all of the rest of the right wingers. We're not interested in any of that. We're here
None of
to
that super chat stuff. None of that.
need to do something about what's going on here. That's what we really
Right. If you instead of giving us $1 or $2, you want to give that donation to your political candidate,
That's
we
good.
completely
Or
understand.
Sharing the content is crucial.
right.
Yeah.
That's the number one priority.
That's what we need all you people to do. Okay. And start
I mean,
sharing
even
the
if
shit that we're putting out. Okay. It needs to be shared. Look, I don't know how many millions of people there are on Facebook, but we still need to be on Facebook, as frustrating as it is, because I can tell you right now, Minds and MeWe are useless. Okay, they are just useless. VR or VK or whatever it is mostly, overseas. A lot of Russia is on VK. I'm not interested in talking to Russia. And that's got nothing to do with what's going on here. It's the fact of the matter is that Russia can't help us. All right, I'm not going to spend my time there. We have to help ourselves. So we need to be out there. But when you're on social media, it's like, if I post a video, there may only be 60 people who see that. If it doesn't get posted again the next day, that might be all that sees that, because not everybody is on social media at the same time, and not everybody is looking at the same thing at the same time. Sharing this shit is important. Okay. If you can share a meme, you can share the shit we're putting out there. All right.
Yep. I have people who post to me or DM me like, "Oh, Dave, that information was really cool," and it was like from 8 months ago. So you just have to continue to push it.
Right. Right.
And
you know what? We need to band together. Okay. You know what? It's not enough to post a meme. Okay. I got to just say this. People need to, you look at, I have nothing against memes. All right. Except for the fact that they have been
used as propaganda for white supremacy.
Propaganda, and just to post a meme because you think somebody's giving you a fact when they say something like the vaccine is killing more than the virus. Really? You know what? Go look that shit up. That's absolutely patently a fucking lie. Okay, so we have almost 1 million people dead in the United States right now, and a lot of that happened because of all the bullshit the Trump administration did at the beginning of COVID-19, because he was worried that it would hurt his re-election chances. So he downplayed it. Okay. It's a fact. And that will be in the section that shows it. There have been studies done. All right. Now, am I suggesting to you that had Donald Trump done the right thing, that nobody would have died? You know what? No, because this is a pandemic and a lot of countries have done the right thing and people still died, but not 1 million people in the country with the best scientists and healthcare people in the world. Okay. It did not have to be this way. So we need to get over that sharing the meme shit when we don't know. Well, you know what? If it's a meme and it's got a reference at the bottom, that's one thing. But if it's just a statement from RFK Jr., forget it. Okay. It's garbage.
By the way, one thing, because I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do next week, real quick. During the hearing, some of the congressmen, such as Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, these people were making the claim that Ketanji Brown Jackson was soft on child pornographers and people involved in those cases, not thinking that people would actually look at those cases. I'm looking at those cases. I'm warning you ahead of time. These cases are disturbing. They talk about the nature of the pornography that was distributed. So I'm just warning you, but people don't think, these guys don't think that you're going to look at this. I'm here to tell you that those claims are baseless. Okay, but in order to know that, you have to look at the information. Some of it is distasteful and just outright disgusting because it's describing it. So I'm just warning people ahead of time that it's going to be bad, but those senators know that. And they put out this propaganda that this black woman is soft on crime, knowing that that's a trope and that is a stereotype of black women.
Right. Exactly. And by the way, just because the material is disgusting, it doesn't mean that she can go over the top and put these people in jail for life. She has to follow the letter of the law. That's her job. Okay.
Right.
I was just saying to Dave the other day, one judge, this is an example going the other way now. Okay.
Yep.
One judge, there there was a guy who was arraigned for attempted murder. Okay, he was young. And the judge didn't jail him, even though he's going to be on trial for murder, because he felt like this guy might be able to turn his life around. He sure did. He went down to Washington and broke into the Capitol building. You know, it's not a judge's, by the same token, it's not a judge's responsibility to be a social worker. It's a judge's responsibility to mete out punishment. End of story. Okay. But the punishment has to fit the crime, is what we're saying here. Okay. So that's basically it. I just wanted to give you a little preview. And, you know, I know this was supposed to be a 5-minute promotion, but you know what? We need to keep talking about this stuff, because you know what? They've brainwashed people by talking about this shit over and over and over and over again. And we need to do the same thing on the other side of the coin. And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I kind of knew, 5-minute promotion kind of means that we're doing another show.
Yeah. I'm done now, so we can go away if you want, but
And everybody go to, if you're on Twitter, go to @Factivist_1. That is the new Factivist Project Twitter account.
right. And I will post a link on social media for that again, so people can go to it. But yep, that's where it is. I am working on Instagram also right now, and working on TikTok. So once I get through tonight, tomorrow I'm going to put all of that stuff together, and we'll let you know what goes on with that.
By the way, this is your life. This isn't entertainment. This isn't the Oscars. This isn't the NFL or the MLB. We're not going to have any of that kind of stuff in here. So, if you're serious about trying to change what's going on in your state, great. If you want to babble on about, the Kardashians or Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, no, that's not here.
No, that's not real life, by the way, just so you know.
It's not.
So that's it, guys. We will see you again, all together, all three of us, next Sunday. Maybe not Sarah, but
yeah.
Probably not me. I'm going to skip out on that one.
All right.
Understood. I understand.
We got it.
Yep.
And we will talk to you next week. I'm killing this recording. Have a nice night.